Hello friends, and welcome to another video. Today I wanted to organize this new book cart that I got. I got it from IKEA, and recently I was just putting a couple like random books on there, but I kind of want to organize it with all the extra books that I just took off my shelves because I just did a organizing video of my entire bookshelves. So I thought I would do the same thing with this book cart. But along with that, I want to talk about all the books I want to read in 2021. I'm very excited for this reading year. I'm very excited to read as much as possible and read books that I actually love. So I'm aiming for quality over quantity, but I'm also aiming for quantity because I kind of just want to read all of the hyped up books, like the fantasy books, for example, A Court of Thorns and Roses and like stuff like that. I just want to get through because I want to be a part of those fandoms and like learn what they're all about, but I just haven't read them yet. So we're working on it, and that's what we're going to be talking about today while I fix this up. So first off, I'm going to be taking off all of this tape because I did put fairy lights around it, but I realized that I don't really like the look of it, so we're going to redo that. First books I want to read in the new year is the entire Brandon Sanderson collection. I have some around me so I can show you what I have. I basically want to read the entire Mistborn trilogy, the first Mistborn trilogy, and then I want to read the second Mistborn trilogy, and I just started Warbreaker, so I'm gonna be reading that and finishing that, so very excited. I also just want to read his YA series. I don't know what this trilogy is called. I think it's just called the Skyward series. I'm not sure. This cover is freaking beautiful, so I want to read that. I also want to read the entire Stormlight Archive, so all 4 books starting with Way of Kings. I also have Arcanum Unbounded by Brandon Sanderson that I want to read, but of course I have to read that after I pick up all the other books because they're like short story and novella type reads. I don't know if this crate is really loud. That was really loud. Okay, I'm sorry for the audio if me removing tape is gonna mess it up. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna remove all the tape and then I'm gonna get back to talking because this is causing a lot of noise. Okay, I have finished removing all of the fairy lights from this cart. Also, I forgot to mention, I'm literally going to be filming this video a second time in maybe a couple days or weeks because I'm going to be painting this book cart. I'm going to be painting all along these sides right here. I found another piece of tape. And I'm thinking I'm gonna paint it yellow, like some yellow designs, like maybe suns or something. I'm not exactly sure yet what I want to do, but that's the general idea. I'm really excited for that. I got a bunch of new paint specifically to paint this. I don't know if the paint is just gonna slide off because it's a little bit like slippery and it's not coarse like paper, but we're just gonna have to see, and hopefully it works out, and hopefully I actually like the design, because I'm going to be really sad if I paint something that looks ugly. Next series I want to read for the new year is the Poppy War trilogy by R.F. Kuang. I've heard so many great things about this book, and I've heard it really gives a real life version of what happens during war. Like, it's a little bit more realistic. I'm excited to read it. I've heard so many good things. Next up on my list is the entire Alice Oseman collection. So I got most of her books. All of these I want to read: Loveless, Solitaire, Nick and Charlie, This Winter, and I Was Born This Way. I read Radio Silence, as you guys know, and absolutely fell in love with it. I'm obsessed with Alice Oseman now. I've also read up until Heartstopper Volume 3, and it was a good time, and I'm loving it. And I just think she does such a good job with representation and writing about teenagers and writing about young people trying to find their way in life, and I just love it so much, and I get so excited talking about her. Okay, next book I want to read, Alas Away by Darcy Little Badger. My friend got this for me for Christmas, and I am very thankful for her for getting it for me because it is a beautiful book. I heard Books and Lala talking about it, and that's why I basically wanted to read it, but also look at this hardcover. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's everything you could ask for from a hardcover. It's just everything, and obviously I want to read it for the story as well, but I will take a good cover also. The next book I want to read is To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. I've heard a lot about this book. It's a new sci-fi, it's a new high science fiction. Do they call it high science fiction? I don't know. But it's a new science fiction out by Paolini. He wrote the Aragon series, the Inheritance Cycle, that's what it's called. He wrote the entire Inheritance Cycle series. Never read it, but still want to read a sci-fi book by him. It is a large book, so I don't know when I'll be getting to it, but it's on my list. Next up, I would like to read Wild Seed by Octavia E. Butler. This is another book that's gonna go on the book cart that you can't even see. Yeah, so I really want to read this book. I've read the first one, like I've read half of this one and I'm still reading it right now. I want to read the rest of her series, and then I've heard a lot about basically all her books, and specifically Parable of the Sower. It's another series from her. It's like science fiction, and I've heard it's really good, so I'm very excited to read that. I have to figure out how I want to put these books. These are all the books that wouldn't fit on my shelves, so there's not that many of them, but I still want it to look kind of nice in a way. So we're gonna try this. Another series that I'm so freaking excited to get to is The Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater. I've heard so much about this, and I know it's like, it's not the best written book in the entire universe, but at the same time, it's supposed to be really like it's supposed to be a good time, and that's all I want from books. I want a good time. I want to fall in love with the characters, and I honestly think that will happen with the entire Raven Cycle series. So I'm hoping to read that this year. I tried to read it last year because I watched I watched Katie Can't Read's channel, and she read it and she did this reading vlog on it, and I've watched that reading vlog so many times because of the fact that it's so good, and she fell in love with the series so much, and I want to experience those feelings, and as of right now I've been experiencing those feelings through her, but I need to experience those feelings for myself, and it would be really nice if I could at some point. But I bought a lot of books this year, so I might have to get them from the library. But also, do I want to get books that I know I'm going to love from the library? Like, I think I kind of want them in my hands. I haven't decided yet. That's tentative. Okay. I'm getting tired. The next book on my list is Lovely War by Julie Berry. Very excited for this book. I have it up on my shelf right now. This was definitely a cover buy. I'm not going to lie. It intrigued me because of the cover. It took me in and it called my name, and now I need to get to it at some point. I want to read it, and I want to read it soon. I don't know when soon is, but hopefully it's in the near future. I also am really glad it's a standalone, because then I can just pick that up, read it, and then go back to reading my series, and it'll be a good mix in, because I'm reading a lot of series this year, so I think I will definitely need a break in between to just explore other stuff, and I can still stay in the fantasy realm with Lovely War. Yeah, okay, I'm being called down for lunch, but we're gonna finish this and then go. Okay, I've already filled up this entire section and the bottom section. So I guess we're gonna go to the back. Next up on my list is the entire Toni Morrison collection. I just want to dive into her books and read anything she's written. I'm very interested in the books she's written because I've heard a lot about her writing and about how beautiful it is. So I'm hoping to get into that at some point. I haven't gotten any of her books yet. I was planning on getting them a couple weeks ago, and then just other stuff ended up happening and I never got them. But I've heard a lot about specifically The Bluest Eye. And what else have I heard a lot about? Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. This is really freaking annoying. Okay. I don't know if this is cute or it's just me putting books on a book cart without any say of where they go, literally just wherever I feel like it is cute, I guess. I think I've basically organized the majority of this. I'll do more in a second, but we'll talk about some books. Next up on my list, Heroes of Olympus series. I want to reread it. I want to feel the nostalgia, so that's basically happening. Also, mentioned it before, Court of Thorns and Roses series. I want to learn about the hype. I want to know about chapter 55. I want to know everything about it. So we're going to be reading that. Next is the Hank Green novels, the Carl's duology. It is called An Absolutely Remarkable Thing in a Beautifully Foolish Endeavor. Very excited for those books. I got it for my family for Christmas, and I have been wanting to read those for a while because I freaking love Hank Green. I think he is such a character. He's such a cool 40-year-old science man, and he is a vibe. So we're going to be reading his books. Next up is Invisible Woman, Data Bias in a World Designed for Men. I saw this on Alina Norm's YouTube channel. She talks a lot about this book and about how it really gives you statistics about how, it gives you data bias in a world designed for men. That's what it gives you. And I need to know, I want to know more about how things have been specifically designed for men and how that has changed the way we live today. For example, seat belts are specifically designed for the male body, so they're more likely to survive in a car crash than females are, which is a part of the book, and I just want to know more. I want to know more facts about that, so I'm going to be reading that at some point. We're going to be doing it in between all the fantasy I'm going to be reading, so it's going to be a good reset so I can get back into fantasy after reading that book. Next is a memoir by R. Eric Thomas. It's called Here For It. I saw this and it's definitely kind of like a cover read. I thought the cover was beautiful, but also I've heard that it is a great story that R. Eric Thomas has written, and I'm excited for it. I'm excited to read more memoirs in this year. I really didn't read many memoirs last year. I might have read one, and that's pretty much it. So I think I need to get back into reading more nonfiction and memoirs. Next is the Ember in the Ashes series by Sabaa Tahir. Now, I know the fourth book has come out. I haven't read any of the other books. I never did. I never got into that hype. I took a break from reading for 4 years of my high school, and I regret it so freaking much. But that's when I missed reading all these amazing books, so I'm going to be reading it now. Next up, I've been saying I want to read this forever, Pyre of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. Haven't read it. It's 800 pages. I will read it one day. It's gonna happen. Just not right now. Okay. I've mentioned most of the books I want to read. I want to reread Strange the Dreamer. I would like to read We Hunt the Flame and A Curse So Dark and Lonely. Also I want to read These Violent Delights by, Chloe Gong. I follow this author on TikTok. She is 21 years old and she wrote this book and she's going to UPenn right now. I want to be her, but I can't, so I'm going to read her book. I want to reread Frankly in Love by David Yoon. It was one of my favorite books of all time last year. I want to reread Red, White, and Royal Blue. What else? I wrote some more. I also want to read the From Blood and Ash series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I know the new book is coming out this year, and I'm very excited. I've heard it's a steamy book with some fantasy sprinkled in. I think that's all the books that I want to read in 2021. Obviously, there's more. There's going to be so many more. I'm going to come out with a video about my anticipated releases of 2021 next, so you're going to get to see that too. And regardless of all these books I mentioned, there's so many other ones I want to read. So this isn't the end of this growing list. Also, let me show you my book cart. I'm going to add my art supplies on the top because that was my original plan, to fill up this space and then this bottom space, but then fill this top space with art supplies. So I'm gonna do that and then get back and show you it. Okay, this is the book cart. We start off with some art supplies on the top. I have some acrylic paints, some paintbrushes, this Warby Parker box that I use for pencils, and then some gouache. I don't know if that's how you say it. A very dirty paint palette, a paint towel, another paint palette, and a water cup for my paints, not for me. And then we go into 2 Alice Oseman books, the entire Brandon Sanderson collection. There's more, but this is the ones I have that are the UK covers, and then the Skyward series. I just push this back. And books from the BITCH we do not talk about. There's nowhere else to put them, so I just put them here for now. Hopefully at one point I can find space in my closet to hide them away or throw them away, you know, either one. Okay, next up is The Last Musician, Wicked Deep, An Enchantment of Ravens, Jade City, and The Hobbit. All books I have not read, all books that I don't have sequels to or are standalones, like this one, and this one kind of, right? I don't know. Okay, and then we flip this over to the other side. This is currently empty. Maybe I'll fill it in with more books as I get more books. And then on the bottom is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. This is a library book that I haven't read yet. Alatsoe, oh no, I just crushed it. It's okay, she's okay. Next one is The Hazelwood, Uprooted, The Afterlife of Holly Chase, Illuminae, Beautiful Creatures, and then some more Alice Oseman books, and then Wild Seed by Octavia E. Butler, and a Stephen King book. These are all books that I don't think are pretty enough for my shelves and are kind of ugly. And this was an okay, this one I didn't read. This was an okay book. This was an okay book. This was an okay book. I don't even remember how this book was. I'm sad that these are next to these subpar books because I know these are going to be good, but there's no other space, so we're going to do that for now. And this is a current read that I'm just going to place here. This is more than an okay book. This is a really good book. And this was a book I never finished. So that is the end of my book cart reorganization. It's turned out well, I think. It's kind of pretty. It's not like the best, and I think it'll look better when I design this book cart. Also, there's still tape. I can't get it. Okay, you know what? I'll get it later. That is the end of this video. I'm sorry if it was a complete shit show. I really hope it wasn't, but it was kind of a mess with me organizing and talking about books at the same time. Probably shouldn't multitask in the future, but we shall see. This is my book cart in its glory. She is beautiful. I love her. I love that she has wheels. I love how it looks, and I love that I can keep my art supplies on the top. It's a vibe. Okay, I will see you guys in the next video. I'm very excited to begin this year with some exciting new videos. I hopefully will be coming out with some reading vlogs and some other things I have planned. So, that is that. Okay, bye.